The one and only wife of Bruce Lee, what happened to her? Get ready to dive into the unseen saga of Linda Lee Cadwell, the only wife of martial arts legend Bruce Lee. Imagine marrying your dream, only to encounter a twist of fate that leaves the world in awe. From a love story that defies the odds to unspeakable tragedies and disputes that could rival any blockbuster drama, Linda's life is nothing short of a roller coaster. But what really lurks behind the headlines? Stay tuned as we unfold the breathtaking journey of the woman who stood by Bruce Lee. You won't believe what happened to her. Linda Lee Cadwell, widow to the iconic Bruce Lee, has led an inspiring life as a martial artist, author, educator, and supporter of charitable causes. During the 9 years she spent alongside Bruce Lee, Linda recounted their time together as an extraordinary journey she will forever cherish. Linda Lee Cadwell, born March 21st, 1945, in Everett, Washington, faced hardship early on with her father's death at age 5. Her family relocated to Seattle, where she grew up with her sister under their mother's care. With a mixed heritage of Swedish, Irish, and English, she has remarkable beauty and grace. She completed high school and pursued higher education at the University of Washington to become a teacher. As Bruce Lee's widow, she bravely cared for their 2 young children after his sudden passing. Linda met Bruce Lee at the University of Washington in 1963 when he demonstrated gung fu in her class. She began taking lessons from him, and they quickly fell in love. They married on August 17, 1964, when Linda was 19 and close to finishing her degree. Reflecting on her life shared with the esteemed martial artist, Linda remarked, "He was dynamic. From the very first moment I met him, I thought, this guy is something else." After marrying, Linda and Bruce Lee moved to California, where Bruce developed his martial arts philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, and opened 3 schools. He also began acting, landing a role as Kato in the TV series The Green Hornet. Although the show was short-lived, Lee's performance left a lasting impact. He went on to appear in other TV shows and films, including Marlowe, 1969, where he played a villainous role. Despite his talent, Lee faced barriers as an Asian American in Hollywood, often being typecast. In 1971, the Lee family, including their 2 children, Brandon and Shannon, relocated to Hong Kong in search of new opportunities. This move marked a significant turning point in Bruce Lee's career, as he would go on to achieve international stardom in Hong Kong's film industry. At that juncture, they were unaware Bruce Lee would become a transformative figure in how martial arts were perceived globally. Upon their return to Hong Kong, Lee quickly secured a deal for 2 movies and released what is known to US audiences as Fists of Fury towards the end of 1971. The film, portraying Lee as a martial artist avenging his master's death, might not have had an original plot, but it was Lee's portrayal and execution that stood out, making the difference. He merged the fluid Jeet Kune Do techniques he instructed in his academies with the exaggerated, forceful styles he showcased as Kato. Through his elegant, dance-like movements, charismatic appearance, humor, and acting prowess, Lee was in his element, unmistakably positioned for stardom. Fists of Fury not only smashed box office records in Hong Kong, but was also surpassed by his subsequent release, The Chinese Connection, in 1972. Lee went on to form his production company, Concord Pictures, and took up directing. The first movie under this venture, known in the US as Way of the Dragon, demonstrated Lee's ambition not just to be seen as a performer, but as a creator. With any luck, I hope to make the kind of movie where you can just watch the surface story if you like, or can look deeper into it. Tragically, Lee's journey as an artist was cut short. On July 20th, 1973, only weeks before the US release of his 4th movie, Enter the Dragon, he met with an untimely death, leaving his family, especially his wife Linda Lee, and admirers in a state of disbelief. At the youthful age of 32, just as his career was cresting, Lee succumbed to a cerebral edema. The circumstances surrounding Lee's demise were wrought with debate. Officially, brain swelling triggered by an adverse reaction to an aspirin he took for a back injury was listed as the cause of death. However, the abruptness of his passing, paired with his young age, robust health, and the uncanny coincidental timing as he stood on the brink of global fame, gave rise to conspiracy theories that he had been assassinated. There were whispers that he had displeased the Chinese mafia or other influential entities within the Hong Kong film circle, and had been poisoned as a result. Lee had always been haunted by a premonition of his premature demise, causing some to speculate that he was under some kind of sinister curse. Myth and hearsay even had it that when Lee purchased a home in Hong Kong not long before his passing, he had inadvertently invoked the fury of spiritual entities believed to dwell in that neighborhood. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. The legend of the curse purports it would affect 3 generations. This unsettling idea of a curse was further reinforced on June 18, 1993, barely over a month before the 20th commemoration of Lee's passing, when his son, Brandon Lee, met his end under bizarre circumstances. During the filming of The Crow, he was fatally wounded by a firearm that was supposed to be loaded with blanks, yet inexplicably contained a live round. Brandon, much like his father, was on the cusp of significant success. Lee's immense contributions have left an enduring impact on the film industry, essentially pioneering a novel form of cinematic expression. By the 1990s, Enter the Dragon alone had amassed over $100 million in revenue, with Lee's influence permeating the styles of many action stars in Hollywood. In 1993, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, a film directed by Rob Cohen and starring Jason Scott Lee as Bruce Lee, hit the screens. Lauren Holly portrayed Linda Lee and through the film developed a friendship with Lee's daughter, Shannon. Linda exemplifies true resilience and strength, embodying the spirit of turning adversity into opportunity. Left to fend for herself and her 2 children, Linda had no choice but to liquidate her assets to survive. Her romantic life after Bruce has seen its ups and downs, with Linda entering into several marriages. In 1988, she wed Tom Bleecker, but their union was not meant to last forever. Their marriage ended in a divorce after 2 years, stirring the media into a frenzy with various speculations about Linda's personal life. Following her separation from Bleecker, Linda found love again and married Bruce Cadwell in 1991, eventually settling down in Southern California. At the time, Cadwell was working as a stockbroker. Presently, the couple enjoys retirement, spending their days golfing and traveling together. Linda's journey as Bruce Lee's widow has been the subject of much speculation, including questions about her well-being, such as, is Linda Lee Cadwell still alive? Indeed, Linda is alive and currently resides in Boise, Idaho with her husband Bruce Cadwell. She is a pivotal figure in the Bruce Lee Foundation, sharing leadership duties with her daughter Shannon. As of 2021, Linda Lee Cadwell's net worth is valued at approximately $12 million. The bulk of her income stems from her accomplished career as an author, with her book, Bruce Lee, The Man Only I Knew, standing out as a bestseller. Additionally, the inheritance from Bruce Lee's estate has significantly contributed to her wealth, as she stepped in to continue her late husband's legacy. These days, Linda Lee Cadwell enjoys a tranquil life in the countryside, having delegated the management of the estate to her daughter. Cadwell occasionally volunteers at the foundation, yet nearly 5 decades since Bruce Lee's unfortunate departure, his legacy endures, immortalized as a cultural symbol of Hong Kong, a martial arts luminary and a philosopher whose teachings remain a source of motivation, connecting individuals from various backgrounds and cultures worldwide. Nonetheless, Linda Lee and her daughter Shannon Lee have historically encountered difficulties in their relationship with Bruce Lee's siblings. Both factions of the family have typically undertaken separate endeavors to honor Bruce's memory. The limited interactions that have occurred have more often been mediated through emails and attorneys' letters, rather than through affectionate phone conversations and familial get-togethers. The estrangement within the Lee family is widely acknowledged. Geographical separation plays a role, with family members residing in disparate regions of the United States. Cultural discrepancies further accentuate the divide, with Lee's siblings upholding traditional Chinese values, while Shannon and Cadwell, who has been married 2 additional times since Bruce, are thoroughly Americanized. Shannon has remarked, "We are not on bad terms," clarifying, "We just don't communicate very often." At the heart of the family rift lies the valuable rights to Bruce's name, likeness, and body of work. The issue of ownership rights has consistently preoccupied the Lee family in the wake of Bruce's passing from sudden cerebral edema. According to records from the California Secretary of State's office in 1985, Cadwell, along with Bruce's now-deceased son Brandon and daughter Shannon, laid claim as successors in interest to a deceased personality's rights under California Code Section 3344.1. This legal provision safeguards the commercial rights associated with the name, voice, signature, photograph, or likeness of a deceased individual who held monetary value in these at the time of their death for the use of their immediate family, namely the surviving spouse, children, grandchildren, or surviving parents or grandparents. Because YouTube will prioritize interactive videos, please comment OK if you find this video interesting. Thank you. According to public documentation, Cadwell laid claim to 50% of all types of rights that belonged to Lee as his surviving partner, utilizing the name Linda Lee. Brandon and Shannon were each entitled to 25% of these rights as Lee's offspring. Shannon was merely 4 years old when Bruce passed away. The Bruce Lee Foundation, initiated in 2002, serves as a charitable organization dedicated to perpetuating Bruce's legacy, with Shannon acting as the president and Linda Lee Cadwell presiding as the chair. During the production of Bruce Lee, My Brother by Bruce Lee's biological siblings, Robert Lee and his two sisters, they encountered legal challenges. Prior to the film's release in 2010, they received correspondence from Shannon's attorney pointing out that they lacked the authorization to utilize Bruce Lee's imagery or likeness, given that such rights are managed by the Bruce Lee Foundation. In response to inquiries about the incident, Robert mentioned his attempt to engage Shannon by sharing details about the investors, only to find out, then she didn't want to work with me. She wanted the whole deal to herself. He added, "We don't talk as much as I would like to. They don't want to collaborate with us. We are one family. There is no reason why we shouldn't collaborate. We share different parts of Bruce's life." In an additional instance, emblematic of the familial discord, the Bruce Lee Club of Hong Kong, with Phoebe and Robert as honorary chairs, amassed funds for the renowned statue of Bruce on the Avenue of Stars in Tsim Sha Tsui in 2005. They extended an invitation to Shannon, who opted out of participating. Robert clarified, "I'm not trying to take over the Bruce Lee empire," going on to express, "I will soon be in my late 60s and semi-retired. I'm not interested in pursuing anything. If they think I'm trying to make money, I haven't done except for from the movie." He disclosed that the pair of books he authored about Bruce, one in Chinese and another in Japanese, only saw modest sales, with 1,000 copies each. Robert shared, "Our family was never sued but received threatening cease and desist letters from Linda's ex-attorney. I stopped talking to Linda." Clarence Lee, another of Bruce Lee's siblings residing between Macau and Hong Kong, voiced a sentiment relevant not just to their own family. To speak through lawyers is kind of wrong. He recounted his father and aunt's desire to connect with fans curious about Bruce's early life, while reminiscing about a past where the family was more united, rallying around each other at the time of Bruce's passing, despite Bruce's siblings being in the United States when they received the news. Phoebe migrated to the US 43 years earlier with her American-born Chinese spouse. At the time of Bruce's death, Robert was in the US but made his way back to Hong Kong in 1975 to advance his music career. The death of Bruce's mother in 1996, a sorrow accented by Brandon's tragic demise on a film set 3 years prior, saw a then 27-year-old Shannon not in attendance at the funeral. Robert stated, "Shannon and Cadwell did not visit Mother during her last months, and they did not attend her funeral." Bruce's siblings have noted a stark contrast between the unity their family used to have and the fractured relations of today. Phoebe, Bruce's elder sister by 2 years, illuminated her cherished brother Bruce as someone who held family in the highest regard. She fondly recollected the joy experienced by their father, the respected Cantonese opera performer Lee Hoi-chuen, upon learning about Brandon's birth in the US, noting he was very happy because it was the first grandchild and a son. You know what a son means in Chinese tradition. Merely a week later, Lee Hoi-chuen died in his sleep, prompting Bruce to hurry back from California for the funeral rites. Phoebe recounted how heartbroken Bruce was not to have had a chance for a final in-person farewell to their father. He walked on his knees from the outside to the altar, He was in tears, and I said to him, "Don't cry, brother," she remembered. Regarding her present relationship with Shannon and Cadwell, Phoebe is hesitant to comment. She mentioned her limited communication with Cadwell, attributing it to her limited proficiency in English. Nevertheless, she expressed a longing for reconciliation. "I just wish one day things would work out. I hope all this can be resolved before my two sisters and I die," she expressed her hope. Phoebe's plea was clear: let's tear the wall down. In the saga of Linda Lee Cadwell, we've witnessed a tale of love, loss, and enduring legacy. This journey reminds us that behind every legend, there's a human story, one of courage, love, and strength. What's your take on her extraordinary life? Share with us, drop a 9 out in the comments to show your admiration for Linda's remarkable resilience. And if you're moved by the stories of legends and the people behind them, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Iconic for more riveting content. Engage, interact, and become part of our iconic community. Pierce Brosnan is now about 70. How he lives is sad. Do you really know about the tragic life behind the spotlight of Pierce Brosnan, the esteemed actor? The reality is far from the glittering facade we often see. Throughout his nearly 7-decade existence, he endured the heartbreak of his first wife's battle with ovarian cancer, leading to her untimely death, faced the same loss again when his daughter succumbed to the same disease and survived the near-fatal accident of his son. This video will unveil the harrowing obstacles he faced, revealing a side of his story that might take you by shock. Prepare to be astonished by the resilience of Pierce Brosnan. Let's dive in. Pierce Brosnan's life is a tapestry of dramatic highs and lows, a narrative that begins in the small Irish town where he was born. His early years were marred by a notable absence: his father Tom, who left the family shortly after Pierce's birth. Young Brosnan experienced the trials of displacement when his mother moved to London to seek better employment as a nurse, while he stayed behind being shuttled between relatives and even resided in a boarding house. The void left by his father's absence lingered for decades. It wasn't until the age of 31 that Pierce met Tom, a fleeting encounter about which he later recounted to Esquire, "He was a good whistler and he had a good walk. That's as much as I know about him." Despite the scarcity of memories, this brief intersection was profound enough to linger in Brosnan's reflections of his past. Prejudice was a shadow that often followed Brosnan. When he eventually moved to London, where his Irish roots were not so easily embraced, Brosnan assimilated into his South London neighbourhood by hiding his accent, an attempt to evade the biting sting of discrimination. His feelings were candidly shared during an interview with CBS Sunday Morning. As he navigated these formative years with resilience, an early desire for acting took hold of Brosnan amidst these challenging times, and he set out to hone his craft. It was a journey that proverbially took him from sweeping the floors of a theatre workshop to commanding the spotlight on international stages. The compass of Pierce Brosnan's life found true north when he met Cassandra Harris. Their encounter wasn't just a meeting of hearts, it was a rendezvous that seemed destined. Harris, an actress of considerable talent, became Brosnan's partner in every sense. Their union in 1980 was not just a marital bond, but a fusion of dreams, aspirations, and eventually shared sorrows. Together they welcomed a son, Sean, into the world, and Brosnan embraced Harris's children from her previous marriage, adopting them and thus weaving a tightly knit family fabric. Brosnan's love for Cassandra was a beacon that guided him, even through the tempest that was to come. For 11 years, Brosnan and Harris shared a love story that Hollywood scripts are made of, until tragedy struck. Cassandra's battle with ovarian cancer was both valiant and heart-wrenching. After 4 years of fighting the disease, she succumbed to it in 1991, leaving a void in Brosnan's life that was palpable. "This is the first time in my life I've ever experienced bereavement, and it's overwhelming," Brosnan confessed to People magazine in 1992. His grief was a testament to the depth of his love, a love that, even in absence, shaped his life henceforth. As the adage goes, after rain comes a rainbow. For Brosnan, this proverbial rainbow appeared in the form of Keely Shea Smith, a journalist with whom he fell deeply in love. Their paths crossed in 1994, leading to a relationship that presented Brosnan with new hope and the courage to open his heart once again. Their marriage in 2001, amidst the lush environs of Ireland, was not just a celebration of their love, but also a tribute to the journey they had embarked on together. The couple was blessed with 2 sons, Dylan and Paris, who brought further joy to their lives. Smith's unwavering support was a beacon for Brosnan, especially as he navigated the treacherous waters of grief. His acknowledgement of her role in his healing process was profound. The memory of Cassie and her fight against cancer is never forgotten, Brosnan noted in a discussion with the Daily Mail in 2013. Yet in the same breath he celebrated the strength and guidance he found in Smith, referring to her as his North Star, always looking out for me. It was a testament to the capacity of the human heart to love, lose, and love again. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Amidst the glimmer of Pierce Brosnan's successful career, shadows of sorrow lingered, particularly embodied by the loss of his beloved daughter, Charlotte, in 2013. Like her mother before her, Charlotte Brosnan waged a stoic battle against ovarian cancer, a battle that she ultimately lost at the tender age of 41. Brosnan's grief over her passing was a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the cruel repetitiveness of this particular family tragedy. In the days leading to her passing, Charlotte married her longtime boyfriend Alex in a ceremony that was imbued with both joy and impending sorrow. Brosnan proudly walked Charlotte down the aisle, a moment of profound significance, crystallizing a brief oasis of happiness amidst their collective battle with her illness. "It was the most moving day of my life," a wedding guest reflected to The Sun, emphasizing the poignancy of the day. Brosnan's relentless battle with grief following Charlotte's death was a testament to his strength and the depth of his familial bonds. The aftermath of Charlotte's passing was a period of intense grief for Brosnan, who had now experienced the devastating impact of ovarian cancer twice over. To cope with the loss, Brosnan leaned on the pillars of his life, family and work. He found solace in the arms of his loved ones and the structure of his acting career, which allowed him to channel his emotions into his craft. "I had good family around me, I had my children, and I knew how to work. And you had to, find a job as an actor and plow forward," Brosnan shared with Larry King. The spectre of loss continued to cast a shadow over Brosnan's life with the passing of his longtime producing partner and confidant, Beau St. Clair, in 2016. Having founded the production company Irish Dreamtime together in 1996, St. Clair was more than just a collaborator. She was a cherished friend whose vision and spirit were integral to Brosnan's creative journey. Her battle with ovarian cancer, mirroring that of Cassandra and Charlotte Brosnan, ended, leaving Brosnan to mourn yet another formidable woman in his life. He lamented, "Beau was the sister I never had, my dearest friend for 30 years. She had style, grace, humor, intellect, and a kind heart that I will forever miss." The loss of St. Clair marked not only the end of a significant professional partnership, but also the loss of a profound personal connection. In the face of this adversity, Brosnan's coping mechanisms were once again put to the test. His resilience, albeit shaken, did not waver. Publicly, Brosnan paid tribute to St. Clair's life and legacy, but privately, he sought to heal in the sanctuary provided by his family and his work, using these constants in his life as a compass to guide him through the turbulence of grief. In a twist that felt ripped from a heart-wrenching drama rather than his real life, Pierce Brosnan was faced with a parent's worst nightmare in April 2000. His son, Sean, then 13, was involved in a severe car accident on a mountain road in Malibu, California, resulting in catastrophic injuries, including multiple fractures and spinal injuries. The accident, caused by drunk driving, saw the car plunging an alarming 150 to 200 feet down a steep cliff, necessitating a dramatic rescue for Sean and others involved. Pierce Brosnan's response to this horrific event was one of profound gratitude toward the rescue workers, who he credited with saving his son's life. "Taking my son and his friends from the jaws of death," Brosnan publicly thanked the Los Angeles rescue teams, emphasizing the critical role they played in the aftermath of the accident. This sentiment underscored not just his appreciation for their efforts, but also the close call that could have led to an even more tragic outcome. The recovery process was undoubtedly a trying time for both Sean and Pierce. Amid the turmoil, life's priorities came into sharp focus for Brosnan, who postponed significant personal plans, including his wedding to Keely Shea Smith, underscoring his commitment to being there for his son during this crucial period. The long-term impact of the accident on Brosnan and his family was significant. Although not explicitly stating his use of professional therapy, Brosnan's actions in the years following suggest a man deeply affected by the events. His choice to tackle roles that explored themes of loss and trauma hint at a form of cathartic processing, using his art as a means to heal and reflect on the fragility of life. The harrowing experience of Sean's accident and the ensuing recovery process unveiled a side of Brosnan that the public rarely sees, the devoted father navigating fear and uncertainty, yet remaining a pillar of strength for his son. It's a testament to his resilience and the depth of love within his family, illustrating how they clung to each other and moved through the darkness together. Pierce Brosnan's tenure as James Bond, which spanned 4 films, starting with GoldenEye in 1995, is often hailed as a defining era in the storied franchise. Stepping into the shoes of the world's most famous spy, Brosnan brought a blend of suavity, wit, and vulnerability that thoroughly refreshed the character for a new generation. His portrayal across GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day was met with acclaim from both audiences and critics, cementing his place in cinematic history. Reflecting on his journey as Bond, Brosnan revealed the role's profound impact on his career and persona, demonstrating how intertwined his identity had become with that of the MI6 agent. However, Brosnan's journey as Bond did not have the fairy tale ending many might have anticipated. The negotiations for a 5th Bond film fell through, leading to Brosnan's abrupt departure from the role. The actor described feeling as though he had been kicked to the curb by the franchise, a sentiment that highlights the unexpected nature of his exit. This period marked a poignant chapter in Brosnan's career, one that would see him part ways with a character that had significantly defined his public and professional life. Despite the disappointment, Brosnan spoke of his time as Bond with gratitude, emphasizing the doors it had opened for him and the legacy he left behind as one of the beloved incarnations of the character. The end of Brosnan's tenure as James Bond marked the beginning of a diversified acting journey that saw him exploring a variety of roles across genres. From the art heist thriller The Thomas Crown Affair to the action-packed The November Man and the musical charm of Mamma Mia, Brosnan demonstrated his versatility as an actor. His post-Bond career has been characterized by a willingness to take on different challenges and a continued commitment to his craft. Despite the undoubted associations with James Bond, Brosnan has been able to carve out a distinct identity beyond the tuxedo and gadgets, proving his enduring appeal and talent as an actor. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Pierce Brosnan's personal experience with ovarian cancer, having lost his wife and daughter, drives his advocacy for research and awareness. He channels his grief into action, participating in campaigns and fundraising to support those affected. His efforts aim to honor his loved ones and spare others from similar pain. Additionally, Brosnan is dedicated to environmental activism, using his platform to promote conservation and preserve the planet for future generations. Beyond the glare of the spotlight, Brosnan's personal life is marked by his enduring relationship with Keely Shea Smith, his wife since 2001. Together, they share a family life filled with love, navigating challenges and celebrating victories as one. Brosnan often credits Smith with being his steadfast support, particularly through periods of grief and loss. Outside of his family and advocacy, Brosnan is known for his interests in environmental preservation, art, and surfing, showcasing a life rich with passions that extend well beyond his acting career. One of Brosnan's most notable passions is painting. This hobby, which he has pursued alongside his acting career, offers a creative outlet that allows him to express himself beyond the realm of film and television. Brosnan often paints as a form of relaxation and has even set up temporary studios while away on shoots to devote time to this hobby. His love for art has not only served as a personal solace, but also as a means to give back. Brosnan has sold his artwork to raise money for charitable causes, underscoring how his interests align with his philanthropic endeavors. Brosnan's legacy as a successful actor and a cultural icon is undeniably etched into the annals of cinematic history. From his breakthrough roles in television to his iconic turn as James Bond, Brosnan has displayed a remarkable range and depth in his performances. His contributions to the arts extend beyond his acting prowess. Through his production company, Irish Dreamtime, Brosnan has also shaped the storytelling landscape, bringing to life films that resonate with audiences worldwide. His impact on the James Bond franchise is particularly noteworthy. Brosnan's interpretation of the suave spy revitalized the series in the 1990s, introducing Bond to a new generation and redefining the character for the modern era. His portrayal blended the traditional elements that fans cherished with a more complex and humanized version of the character, thus broadening the franchise's appeal. Brosnan's Bond is celebrated for bridging the gap between the Cold War-era spy and the contemporary hero, ensuring the franchise's relevance and survival into the 21st century. Pierce Brosnan's journey through life portrays a narrative that's every bit as compelling as the roles he's graced on screen. Amidst glittering success, Brosnan has navigated profound sorrow with a resilience that inspires. But what's your take on his remarkable ability to turn personal tragedy into advocacy and art? Share your thoughts, and if Brosnan's endurance in the face of adversity has touched you in any way, drop a comment with letter B below. Don't forget, if you're a fan of stories that delve deep into the lives of iconic figures like Brosnan, hit like. Subscribe to Iconic Inside and join our community for more heartfelt content.